Here we go. Welcome to Group Three's presentation of Nike and Serena Williams. Group Three's members are Jacqueline Blackwood, Wilmer Jackson Spencer, and Cheryl Tisa. Overview of Nike. Nike is headquartered in Beaverton, Oregon. It's the world's leading designer, marketer, and distributor of authentic athletic footwear, apparel, equipment, and accessories for a wide variety of sports and activities around the world. The company's name is derived from Nike, a winged goddess capable of moving at high speed, personifying victory. The Nike swoosh represents her wings. One of Nike's many celebrity athlete endorsers is Serena Williams, the world's #1 ranked singles tennis player. Serena Williams began intensive training as a young person, age 3, in 1984. She has won the US Open in 3 years and has not looked back. In 2002, she became one of 6 women to win the Grand Slam Championship, earning winnings in the US Open, French Open, and Wimbledon. The strategic direction of Nike is of innovation. Innovation is a cornerstone of the Nike brand. The company was founded by 2 visionaries, Bill Bowerman and Phil Knight, who set out to reinvent athletic footwear. Over the past decade, Nike's drive to design and produce better, faster, lighter products has evolved into an even more ambitious agenda to embed long-term sustainability into the business and into its broader vision, which calls for new approaches to design, management, partnership, and new tools and metrics to support integration and adaptation throughout Nike. Many of Nike's management innovations for sustainable growth started internally before the company moved externally. It is a leading industry in its efforts for systematic change and pursuing an agenda of truly disruptive innovation. Many of Nike's management innovations for sustainable growth started internally with corporate responsibility and considered design teams. As internal efforts took hold, the focus expanded externally. Nike is now reinventing its supplier, industry, and business relationships. It is leading industry efforts for systematic change and pursuing an agenda of truly disruptive innovation with a goal of reaching $50 billion in the coming years. Nike's business model focuses on core activities like design, development, and marketing. It outsources non-core activities like manufacturing to contract manufacturers. It is truly building a global brand. Establishing a Nike alliance is being able to retain the companies and firms that most fit Nike's needs, meet jurisdiction, gaining efficiencies, driving convergence, and increasing spending predictability. To grow the Nike brand in 6 geographies, including North America, Western Europe, and Japan, is the first strategic initiative of Nike. Secondly, we are opening 250 to 300 new Nike-branded stores globally, and we're closer with retail partners is forthcoming. Nike is building and strengthening its global presence, especially its direct consumer presence. The mantra of creating brand through past experience includes a strong marketing strategy that Nike uses, coupled with extensive research and development capabilities to provide value and benefits to Nike's customers, gaining their satisfaction, leading to loyalty to their brand. Their extensive supply chain management allows Nike to make full use of contract workers in 44 countries around the world.
The target market for the athletic apparel category, as well as Nike, is very similar. Within the category, the target market is young women, teens, and serious athletes. And for Nike specifically, their target market is women, young athletes, and runners. So Nike's target market is definitely aligned within the category's competition. So young women in their 20s and 30s are basically driving the athleisure trend, which has become the main part of athletic apparel. These women are not only wearing athletic wear for fitness reasons, but also on a daily basis to run errands or even attend social events. Lululemon has always targeted this group, saying that their ideal consumer is engaged, has their own condo, is traveling, fashionable, and has an hour and a half to work out a day. Within the category, the target market is also teens. This is very strategic for companies to target teens as they are starting to make their own money and spending it on entertainment and apparel. In fact, the purchasing of athletic apparel has increased tremendously in teens. They're now spending more money on brands like Nike and Adidas over traditional classic teen brands like Abercrombie. So now of their apparel purchases, 28% is going to athletic wear, and this is an increase from 6% just 8 years ago. So that's a 22% increase in less than a decade. Also, the category, some companies within this category are focusing on serious athletes, so they're distinguishing themselves from the athleisure trend. Like Oakley has started marketing their clothes for running, not for running errands, so focusing more on intense athletes. Reebok is also focusing on participants of CrossFit and Spartan races. So for Nike specifically, along with the category, they're definitely targeting women, typically in their 20s and 30s. And again, they're driving the athleisure trend, and they're wearing leggings and fitness wear to social events, to run errands, and in addition to the gym or workouts. So because of this, they're expanding their women's apparel line, specifically their sports bras and tights. And they just recently released a couture style collection, which is very fashion forward and less emphasis on actual fitness use, but more just for style to wear every day. And it's projected that this women's line could add $2 billion in additional sales by 2017. Nike is also targeting young athletes, and this is, again, very strategic because if they inspire young athletes to buy into their brand, this could develop into a lifelong of a loyal consumer base. So they do offer youth products, youth clothing. However, they really target kids through their sponsorships of local leagues, clubs, and federations, as well as athlete endorsements of professional athletes like Serena Williams or Kobe Bryant, etc. They also, every NFL jersey in the NFL is created by Nike. So this really draws in the kids who look up to these athletes and these teams, and so that they want to purchase Nike products. And traditionally, Nike is a running company. They have been known for their innovative technology and superior running apparel and shoes, so it makes sense that part of their target market would be runners. However, in the recent few years, their running apparel is not meeting the brand's goals, so they are working hard to improve their sales through technology and innovation with connecting applications on your phone that tracks your runs with your clothing. So Nike is a world-renowned international brand, so it has a huge consumer base. So they segment their consumers by age, gender, income, and geographical location. So first, their consumers are segmented between youth, teen, and adult ages, then further segmented by men and women by gender. And then within those categories, they have clothes for high income levels, average income, and low income levels. And dependent on the country, of course, it changes very slightly within each country or each region, but the consumer base is typically segmented by north, south, southwest, and east. And finally, the Nike consumers are very vocal about wanting and needing a strong social and digital media presence. They want apps that are able to track their fitness and their health, so both their workouts and their food, what they're consuming, as well as a website that is easy to online shop but protective enough of their credit card information or whatever to purchase things. And the younger consumer base wants a strong social media presence, specifically a very inspiring and motivating Instagram platform.
As we move forward, we will explore the market definition and attractiveness of Nike. Let's start by saying that the tennis shoe market is a lucrative gold mine that is dominated by a few major brands that have cornered the market in their own respective way, each having strategic advantages based on sport, location, and a niche within the shoe apparel space. Just a few numbers to display the attractiveness of the shoe market. The athletic footwear market value, US dollars, is $84 billion is projected by 2018. The average household spends roughly $21 a month on tennis shoes in the US. And from 2007 to 2011, the percentage of shoes online doubled. This is also one of the strategic initiatives of Nike, speaking to existence that they would like to have a better engagement and make it easier for customers to purchase their product and make it a faster transaction. This is one of the big areas that Nike would like to attack moving forward. And also, as we discussed, the women's market specifically, they buy 3 pairs of shoes a year, spending an average of $50 a pair. So with these numbers, it gives us a good indication of what the footprint of potential earnings could be. Analysts anticipate an average annual rate of growth 14.3% on average per year. If you look at the sales over the past 3 years, and this is in billions, obviously. So in 2013, we had 25 billion, 2014, 27 billion respectively, and 2015, 30 billion in revenue. Over the next 3 years, they project a 16%, 13%, and a 14% increase by the year 2018. Future projections. The goal in the industry in regards to participation by the Tennis Industry Association, which is to increase the number of players to 10 million by the year 2020. This would add essentially 3.9 billion to the tennis economy, which would project the 2020 projected value amount of the economy at 9.5 billion. The current value, and we just want to show the essential growth over the past few years. In 2013, again, the market was valued at 5.5. You see incremental growth going to 5.7, and then also to 5.77 billion by 2015. If we look at a couple of factors, the ATP's revenues for 2014 were 107 million in revenues, whereas the WTA revenues was in 2014 were 69.7 million in revenues. And just to give you an example of sponsorship and endorsement partnerships, Emirates Airlines picked up a premier partnership with the ATP in a 5-year deal, which is the largest deal ever done with the Tennis Association, which also shows why the ATP has a higher generating revenue capabilities than the WTA, because they have a tendency to build more strategic partnerships that have the long-term value for the stakeholders. Some of the interesting tennis metrics that we can look at. The current value of the tennis market is approximately $5.9 billion. As far as tennis facilities across the United States, we're looking at 14,648. The United States Tennis Association league players that are actually registered are at 315,500. And we have 6.1 million avid male fans and 6.3 million women fans. And again, this is also indicative of the earning potential as we look at some of the more metrics and some of the numbers to show the growth and how Nike can actually attain these numbers. Tennis participation from 2014 rose 1% to 17.9 million. Youth tennis projections, the ages of 6 to 12, we have 2.14 million participants. And the age group of 13 through 17, we have 2.2 million. When it comes to the core tennis participation, it's down 1% down to 9.9 million. And then we have the cardio tennis, which represents the tennis participants who do it more for an exercise and the health factor of it. Their growth is up 5% from last year with 1.6 million participants. And in 2016, it increased 4% overall to 28 million. This is the highest participation level since 2009. Now we're going to explore a couple of the products on the product side, the manufacturer year-end wholesale shipments. These are just some of the products. If you take a look at, and you think about Venus and Serena Williams signature brands, Nike signature brands. Just in the industry alone, tennis rackets, 2.96 million, roughly 3 million tennis rackets were sold. 124 million tennis balls were sold. Red, orange, and green balls for training, 5.5 million were sold. Tennis strings, 3.16 million were sold. Roughly, the consumer spending on tennis equipment from 2007 to 2015, which you can see in the chart below, I want to say for 2015, the most recent number was roughly 470 million dollars and growing. Now, the shoe industry as a whole, when it comes to the tennis shoe market, Nike is the leader. By market share revenue specifically, Nike controls the market with 47.1%, with Adidas coming in right behind them in second place with 35.6%, which they both have a combined total of roughly 82% of the market. So you can clearly see you have VF Corp, which has a lot of diversified products, and then we have Under Armour making a strong run. But again, in the shoe space, Nike and Adidas dominate specifically the basketball and soccer market for sure. And we can go into a little bit of that later in our further slides. Now, Nike's strength. Basketball dominance is one of Nike's strengths. 90% of the market wears Nikes or Jordan shoes. The Jordan brand actually brings in $2.25 billion per year. As well as golf is a strong area for Nike with the likes of Tiger Woods, which we know he's had a strong billion-dollar career by himself. The names like Venus and Serena Williams, Roger Federer, and Maria Sharapova are all of Nike's top endorsers when we look at the tennis market. Roughly looking at a contribution from Nike of roughly $35 million a year on average, which is paid out to these three alone just for tennis endorsements, which are the highest in the market. Now, in regards to, we talked about the shoe side of the industry. Now we can look at the apparel. And actually, Under Armour is the number one company when it comes to the apparel, and then Adidas, and then Nike. And then what I did here was just wanted to display, and you can see the progress that some of the companies made in some areas, whereas others were losing. Under Armour made a very aggressive move by doing one of the largest uniform deals in history at $280 million with UCLA. This was a deal that was once owned by Adidas, which they lost it to. In the same breath, Adidas was able to again sign NC State for a little bit smaller deal of $38 million, which is an exclusive apparel deal where they're licensed to wear their uniforms exclusively. And this is also a space where Nike continues to kind of drag for some reason in those areas. They've even lost out to Lancaster, which is one of the bigger programs that Nike supported. They end up losing that deal to Adidas as well. So it kind of shows you the contrast where Nike has opportunity to grow in the apparel space, some of the other products, but where they still control the bread and butter when it comes down to the tennis shoe market.
Current brand image for Nike shows that it's its most powerful asset, accounting for 85% of total revenue. Branding creates and defines Nike's identity. By building up their brand, Nike is taking a series of steps to create value, brand visibility, and making their product desirable. A brand should encompass a lifestyle, give consumers something to identify with, and give the product substance and meaning. Take it from Nike, whose successes and dominance in the world of sports has thrived on their ability to construct their brand image, to have visibility, and giving the company logo high, extreme value. Elements associated with the brand include the slogan, "Just Do It," their swoosh logo, the brand personality of being athletic, fit, aggressive, competitive, exciting, spirited, and innovative. The emotional benefits that the brand portrays are athletic, healthy, trendy, and stylish. Brand attributes serve to combine Nike's goals and strategies to identify their best elements to create consumer associations. These elements help to enhance the brand awareness, enhance consumer associations with the brand, and encourage positive emotions and feelings. Points of parity. Nike and Adidas, Puma, and Under Armour are among the world's most popular athletic clothing and equipment brands operating in the same competitive market. They're associated with famous athletes, everyday people sporting any of these logos. Each sells the same style products for enhanced performance, but they also create different campaigns that they hope will attract and pull market consumers to their brand. As Nike and Adidas or Under Armour are all athletic wear companies, there exists a lot of parity points. One being their individual electronic performance technology that allows the consumer to measure and compare his or her performance during training. Nike has developed the Nike Plus products line that cooperate with Apple and allow runners to track their distance, pace, calories burned, heart rate, and send them online to compare their performance and set new goals. Nike's created the Nike ID series, where you can customize your own shoes and gear, appealing to customers to create their own identity and style. Current positioning by the numbers, Nike is the largest seller of footwear and apparel in the world, with their brand value at $19 billion as of last July. They have a footprint in 190 countries and have applied effective strategies to sustain their competitive edge. Serena Wilson's current endorsement with Nike is a $40 million 5-year contract. It includes sales royalties and performance incentives if she wins Grand Slam tournaments and reaches the #1 ranking. Communication and conveying information is the communication of their brand values, and it's built on the principle that Nike sets a feeling, sets an emotion. Not directly or seeing or even experiencing the product, they convey a feeling to the audience so that they seem to experience it when they use their products. Here is an example of some of the ads that Nike has created where they reach everybody, especially their infusion into the market of female clothing, including fashion clothing. Their brand reputation communicates all of their values, that they sell a feeling and an emotion. They focus on the consumer, both in their sports and in everyday life. They motivate people, women front and children in the center of advertising. All of their products bear their logo. Nike is the #1 sports brand posted by Forbes. It continues to hold that place today. While other competitors seem to be knocking at their door, no one company is coming up close. Nike's brand and their products are available in 8 sporting categories. They have a line of not only men's gear, but women's and children's. Their performance equipment includes a plethora of items from digital devices to golf clubs. They're the top athletic manufacturer in the world and hold prominence as a globally top athletic brand. Thank you for allowing us to present today. Oh, what was that screen that came up?
You're still recording.
Oh, hang on. Stop video. Okay.
No, the record button on the bottom. Because the video button is different than the record button.
Okay, so this one here.
It should say record or recording. Stop recording.